Yo, what up? What up? How's my audio? Is it good?
Yeah, it is.
What's good, dog?
Not too much, man. Just getting through these calls, getting these offers in.
Okay.
That realtor from yesterday, he came back to me for counter offer,
Okay.
119,
What was his list price?
130. We were at our MAO was 80 grand, I think.
79, right?
Yeah, 79. So then I hit him back with 80 grand max offer, 30 days. We pay closing costs, and just left it at that.
Yeah. Here's what I would do, bro. Especially with realtors, building relationships with realtors.
Yep.
Pitch, not even pitch, but plant a seed for creative finance. Like, hey, yeah, no worries. It sounds like we're probably not a good fit for you at the moment, but let's just say, the house doesn't sell in the next 60 to 90 days and you're still sitting there on the market. Would you guys entertain seller finance? Most realtors understand the seller finance world and the real world, so you won't have to go into the weeds of it. And they'll be like, yeah, I don't know, it depends or whatever, right? So just plant the seed and then follow up in the next like 60 to 90 days. So what I'll do
Yep.
is when a seller is on the market, I'll do that. I'll plant the seed because typically you don't really get a deal done on the market, like just in most cases, as far as a cash deal. So I plant the seed and I wait usually about, I would say 60 days to call the seller back and see how the offers are going. So for perfect freaking example, I went on an appointment today for a creative finance deal, and this deal will be, I think it was listed like, let's check actually. It was interesting. Oh no, that's not the one. Hmm. 31 days ago, it was listed. The seller came back to me. After 31 days of it being listed and getting beaten up by the market, he came back to me and said, hey, bro, can you call me?
Interesting.
I'm ready to make a move on something creative. So think about that. Letting it sit, letting them get beat up by buyers coming in, deals falling through for them, let them get beat up a little bit, and then make sure you follow up. Now, we didn't have to follow up with this guy, but I checked the task, and our task was to actually follow up with him in the near future to see how the listing was going. So if they do list it on the market, you can plant a seed. So for that guy, I went on an appointment. I said, hey, man, we're not a good fit here, but we could potentially do X later on. And that was the creative finance thing. And he contacted me back. So with that being said, let's underwrite that deal.
Let's go. So what type of creative finance? Just regular seller finance, Subto?
I'm going to show you right now.
Okay.
I had to do a couple things here. You can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for this particular house, right? Our seller had an offer at $390,000. Two of them actually at 390. They both fell through. This is after interest rates have gone up a little bit and the market is kind of weirding out. I don't know if you guys have heard, but I just read an article, I think yesterday or the day before that the amount of fallouts in contracts, not just in the investing world and in wholesale, but in general, is through the roof. Like people are just falling out of contract, and we are actually seeing it on some of our deals. where buyers are just backing out. So he had some offers over at 390 where the sellers were backing out. I mean, the buyers are backing out. So this particular seller owes $240,000 on a mortgage, right? He wants this sale price, but he owes this. What would that leave him with in equity?
Oh, so what would it leave him?
So if somebody came in and bought this house at $390,000, what would it leave him with equity at 240 grand?
So 150, like walk away cash, you mean?
Yep.
Yep.
So he has 150 in equity. Now, obviously, if he sells on the market, he doesn't really have 150 in equity. He has realtors that he's got to pay. He has closing costs and all that, right?
Yep. All those fees.
There's a bunch of fees. So really, he probably has like 125 in equity or something like that, whatever the number comes up to. But for us, if we do a creative finance deal, we are going to pay all that. So we are going to pay the closing costs. There are no realtor fees. So what we came up with was, hey, why don't we give this guy $10,000 down? So he's going to get a $10,000 down payment from us, and he hasn't accepted this, but he's entertaining it. So he's going to get $10,000 down. We still owe him what of equity?
140.
Yep, we still owe him 140. What happens to this 240 mortgage?
We pay it off now. Are you talking about the numbers?
Yep, so we paid off Subto, so 240K. So what it is on this every month, what we call PITI, what we have to pay towards the principal, interest, taxes, insurance on this existing mortgage. So what we're doing here, right? So you have an idea. We would be buying the house subject to the existing mortgage, which means we are now in charge of making payments on this. Now, this payment is already in place. He already has the finances in place with his lender. So we don't have to go get a mortgage and get pre-approved and get a new term, right? He already has a term at 3.5% interest, which ends up coming out to his payment every month is $1,400. So that's what we would have to pay every single month. Right?
Yep. And can I pause real quick?
Yeah.
And this strategy is good, right? For example, in our market right now, interest rates are rising. We're getting into sellers where they locked in an interest rate, but it's already lower, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So like typically, I think the interest rates right now are like 6% or 7%, something like that.
Yeah.
So we're able to get into this house at 3.5% interest.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is really what we care about. PITI on this note, on this $240,000 mortgage. So we will be inheriting that essentially. The mortgage stays in his name, but we will be in charge of making the payments on that mortgage. So every single month when we own this property, we have to pay out $1,400 to principal, interest, taxes, insurance for this specific mortgage that he has in place. Now we owe him $140,000 because he wants a $390,000 purchase price. So what we told them is we're like, hey, we can give you $10,000 up front that you could walk away with. And then for the rest of your equity at that point, the 140, we are going to pay you over time. Make sense?
Yep.
So what do we do with this?
We will rent out the property, and whatever we make over that 1,400. No, I'm sorry. We pay them off, Yeah, with the profits we make every month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, essentially. So we have to pay them over time for this 140. So how do we come up with the payment for that?
We get a renter inside the property that
Mhm.
rents over 1,400.
So we have to figure out what this thing is going to rent for, right?
Exactly.
So we figured out this thing will rent as a regular rental for 2,200 to 2,500 bucks a month.
Are these like confirmed numbers already, or are you just like guessing?
No, I already confirmed it.
Okay.
I am going with 2,200. That's what I feel comfortable with, but I think we could probably get 2,500.
Okay.
So before this, before any payments with this, because we are going to have some payments for that. Before that, we are cash flowing. When you talk about the 1,400 and 2,200 in rent, would be cash flowing 800 bucks, and then obviously you have some other things. So we have $800 to play with.
Okay. And that 10,000 is coming out of your pocket.
Hold on. There's $800 to play with now. What is that for? That is for payments to him, the seller, payments to any private lenders that we get, war chest money, which means, for a rainy day, vacancies, any repairs that needs to be done. By the way, this thing is fully renovated.
Okay.
So we have, and profit, obviously, cash flow. So we have $800 to play with now. So we got to structure something to allow us to at least have this after everything. We need our profit to be like $300. That's what we're trying to hit.
I'm sorry. Did you say your profit?
Cash flow.
Okay, your cash flow.
Cash flow every month. We want to be about $300. That's where we feel comfortable with. So with that being said, we'll have $500, right, for this. So we can put towards 500 bucks a month towards paying any money towards this. And then remember, this is $10,000 that we have to pay up front. Right?
Yes.
But guess what? We are paying the closing costs as well. And we're gonna have to market the property as well. So we're gonna have an additional 20K and some fees and just some buffer time in order to get a renter in there, right? Because it's going to take a month or so to get a renter in there. Might have to do a little bit of cleaning. Like I said, the thing's fully renovated, and he agreed to have it broom swept. But it's going to cost us to go find a renter. We hire a realtor to go get a renter for us. So we're going to have to give the seller $10,000 up front and come up with $20,000 for closing costs and all the additional fees in order to get a renter in there in place. So where does this $30,000 come from? We need $30,000 to do this deal.
Okay. So the 30K will come from a private money lender or a hard money lender.
Yep.
Okay. And also, just so I understand this, that extra 20.
It will not come from a hard money lender. It will come from a private money lender.
Private. Okay. So if I'm a new guy, I don't know what I'm doing. How do I find a private money lender if I've never done a deal?
You got to go raise private money, dog. Or you got to find somebody that does this already and bring the deal to them and partner up with them on the deal if you don't have any private money lenders. But are you asking how do you raise private money?
That was what I was asking.
You got to go get yourself out there, bro.
Okay. So it's talk to people.
Exactly. So this being said, we got to come up with cash out of pocket. We got to come up with 30K. So where are our payments here? What's going to be a payment to a private money lender typically on $30,000?
I honestly don't know the rates for private money. I know hard money is like around 12%, right?
Okay, so we're just going to call it 10%. So here's how this works. You take 10% of $30,000. What is that?
3K. I'm sorry, 300. No, 3K. 3,000. My bad. So it's gonna be 3,000 that you have to pay.
$3,000 a year is what is going to be paid to a private money lender just towards the interest. This doesn't get paid down like a regular mortgage does. This goes just towards interest. This is an interest-only loan most of the time. So every single year, we're going to be paying a private money lender on this deal $3,000 in order to come up with that $30K. So what does that look like a month? $250 a month. So cash out of pocket is $30,000 every single month. So payments on that are going to be $250. Now, what else do we got to do? That 140. So 140 seller finance note. Let's leave that blank for a second. We have Subto PITI. That's $1,400. So where are we at so far? With just these two, we're at $1,650. Where do we want to be?
Can you close that calculator? It's kind of blocking my view.
Oh, my bad.
You're good. Okay. So where do we have to be at in a price, a monthly price?
To come out of pocket, no money on this deal, we got to come up with $30,000 from a private money lender. That payment is going to be $250 every month.
Yep.
In order to pay the Subto portion of the deal every single month, we got to come out of pocket $1,400, and that also takes care of taxes and insurance.
Okay.
So we're good for there. So now we're at $1,650 before we're paying him every single month. Okay.
Got it.
Remember, this thing rents out for $2,200.
Exactly.
And we want to be $300 minimum in cash flow. So where are we at so far? 2,200 minus 1,650.
We are at 550 a month cash flow.
We're at 550. So I told the seller we'll give him $200 a month. That leaves us with 350 in cash flow. But the problem is we got to save stuff for a rainy day, right? Like we got to see if we're going to have vacancies or anything like that. So this isn't the greatest deal. Because if we pay him $200 every single month, we're left with 350, but we still have our war chest money that we're not putting away.
Okay. Well,
doing this deal, no money out of pocket right now, you would probably be netting nothing.
And that's
yeah.
I was gonna say, and that's still a win though, because you're still getting a house.
Essentially, but that's the next question I was going to ask. If you're not really cash flowing, why would you buy the house?
Because eventually you could refinance and blow everyone else out of the equation, correct?
You could do that.
And pay off the private money lender, pay off the seller, and then the rest is just profit.
Okay. You could do that. So you're talking about waiting for appreciation?
Yeah.
You could wait for appreciation and refinance at a number that'll pay everybody out. You could definitely do that. We also have to pay this note off after year 10.
So after year 10? So it's a balloon?
Yep.
Okay. So you're asking me how would we do this?
Yeah, I'm asking why would we ever do this?
Well, at the end of the day, we're still getting the house, right?
Dude, do you want to just have a house to have a house?
I mean, if I don't have a house and I got a house for free, it's still a win.
But why is having a house so cool?
Well, in my opinion, it's one of the best ways to invest your money. So you can either
you're not making any cash flow.
Not right now.
Okay.
In the future, I will, with no money down.
Okay, but at the end of the day, I could have used that 30K that I just raised from somebody else to go get 25% somewhere.
Well, I don't know, Mike. What am I missing from the puzzle?
Well, all this money that we're making wholesaling and fixing and flipping, we'll be able to write this off on our taxes for one. But at the end of the day, we're probably going to cash flow a couple bucks here. Like, it's not the best deal ever. But here's the cool part about this particular deal. So the benefits, right? Tax purposes for one, appreciation for two.
Yep.
Mortgage pay down for three. Like you said, you're having somebody else pay down that mortgage. It's a silent bank account, so it makes sense. Right? But here's the cool part. What are we coming out of pocket?
One big zero.
No.
Oh, okay. Out of like the money raised, yeah. 30,000.
Mm-hmm. So what could you do? You could find a wrap buyer. And what a wrap buyer would do is they would come in typically probably around like 13% of the purchase price. So we would up the purchase price to maybe 425. And they would come in with about $55,000 down. So there's a buyer out there who is not getting approved for a loan who could come to our bank, the Bank of Silver Homes, and say, hey, Bank of Silver Homes, I would like to buy this house from you at 425 for 13% down, which would be $55,000 down. They would come in with that cash. What are we left with now? $25,000 up front, right? This clears out all this because they are going to have to do that. Actually, probably not. They're going to have to pay the closing costs and the 10K up to the 10K to the seller, which would probably add up to maybe 20. So we'd walk away with probably like 35 grand because we don't care about marketing or getting the property ready or anything like that. That's their problem. So what ends up happening is we find a buyer who isn't getting approved. You reach out to a realtor or you put it on Facebook or something like that, and you find the buyer who isn't getting approved. Maybe they're a painter, maybe they're a contractor, maybe they just have some side gig or whatever the case is that's making them a lot of money, but they're not on W-2, so they're not getting approved for a loan. So what happens is they come in with the cash that they have saved up, and they're able to buy a house without having to go through the banks. And they give us the $55,000 down. We use the 20K we need in order to close the deal and give the seller his money in the beginning. And then we wrap some terms, right? Because at the end of the day, if he's giving us 55K up front, he's going to owe us $369,000. And this is going to be in the form of a loan. So we're going to wrap all the loans that we have in this deal under this loan for him. So we're going to create bigger terms. Like, so the 3.5% interest rate that we're paying the Subto loan, we're going to bump that shit up to like 8%. So we'll be cash flowing every single month. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's like the worst case for me. I'm like, I'd rather not wrap it. I'd rather just hold on to it.
Why?
But here's the thing, because I just told you of all the three reasons.
Oh, appreciation.
Three reasons. Right.
Okay.
It's in a city that I think is going to absolutely boom because everybody's getting pushed out of Boston. I really think Brockton is going to come up soon. So it's like, I believe in it. So I'd rather keep it for one. But for two, what this does is this tells us that we have multiple exit strategies. And who knows? I didn't even underwrite this thing as what it would look like on an Airbnb or some sort of short-term rental. I didn't even do that. We could rent it out to nurses for the Brockton Hospital. So there's like multiple exit strategies. This is why this is a deal. It might not look appetizing at that 350 mark before war chest, but I'm doing the deal.
Okay, I understand. I want to go back to just so I understand even more. I want to go back to the painter, the guy that can't get a loan, right? If you were to buy this deal wrapped, right? Actually, sorry, let's just say theoretically, let's say you just give it to him. You know what I mean? Like he's your friend and he needs a house. You give him this deal. Is he gonna pay that? Was it $1,400 a month, and that's it? Because that's all you need to pay off, or is he gonna actually pay that $220 or $2,200?
He's going to just pay a monthly payment every month to a servicing company for whatever his note is. So if his note at that point was $369,000, do the math on what it would look like so we can do it, right? Let me see it real quick.
Well, what I was asking was he paying just PITI plus?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So this is what he'll be paying every month. Almost $2,500. Actually, nope, my bad. I apologize. He will be paying this $2,713 every single month. If we get him at 8%, maybe he would want 6%.
Okay.
He's still at $2,200. That covers us for everything.
Okay, but what if let's say because are you still talking about a wrap?
You asked the wrap buyer what he's going to be paying, correct?
No, I asked what if you just give it to your friend? Like if you don't wrap it, I have this deal all packaged up for you, and I just want to give it to you because you need a house.
So you're talking about assigning the deal?
Yes.
Yeah, so essentially you would just wholesale it, just like you would a cash deal. You would have all the terms that you have that we did, like we were going to buy the house, and you would just say, hey, I have this property. Here you go. And you assign the deal to them, and you are now not getting any cash flow. You are now just completely kicked out of the deal, like you are on a cash transaction, on a wholesale transaction. You would wholesale it, bro. You would take your assignment fee.
Yeah. Okay.
But you would market it out to the public as, hey, there's a property over here that you can buy for $50,000 down, whatever a month, $2,200 a month, without any finances, like financing already in place.
Okay, got it.
So you could do that, and you could just take the spread from the down payment that they give you from whatever money is needed to be done with the deal. You could take that as your assignment fee. You could do that and just be out of the deal. But the cool thing is why would you do that? Because you could charge this guy interest every single month.
Yep.
Because now he ends up with the 0% interest on the seller finance note and 3.5% interest on the other one. Why would we do that? The interest rates right now are 6 to 7%. Why wouldn't we charge somebody else that?
Yep.
Not even higher because they aren't able to get a loan. If you ever went and got a car, right, and you don't have good credit, the interest goes up. So if you're not able to go get a loan from a regular 30-year mortgage place, why would we give you a property for a smaller percentage for interest?
Understood. So would you say that? So
you're acting as the bank.
Okay. No, I understand now. So would you say that sub-2 wrapping, I don't even know the official term you would like to call it, is truly passive income? Because at the end of the day, you just sell it and then you just get paid off the interest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the easiest forms of passive income is being a bank.
Yeah.
Is lending your money out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not being a landlord, right?
Yeah.
Like being a landlord, you deal with shit.
Yeah, you have to work.
Even if you hire a property management company, you still manage the property management company. So the easiest way to ever get passive income is to go lend out your money. And essentially, when you're wrapping, you are becoming a bank.
Okay. I like it. So segue into the taxes reason. How would this house be considered depreciation?
I don't want to go down the whole rabbit hole because we'll be here for forever and I do have to jump. But essentially, when you buy a house, you are able to write off the actual house on taxes.
Okay.
So if you made let's say $500,000 in your fix and flip business and you bought a house for 200 grand, there's some tax code. And actually, don't quote me on this. I'm not a tax guy, but I think at the end of this year, they no longer are doing this, but you're able to write off all that 200 grand in 1 year.
Okay.
So whatever money that you make in wholesaling or something, you buy that house and you can write it off. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that because as you start getting into talking to sellers with creative finance, you'll understand what's a deal.
Okay.
That's a high level deal, bro. That's what we call a hybrid deal. There's two parts. There's a seller finance part and a subject to part.
So now that you said that, now I got confused. What part is the seller finance part in that whole deal?
The seller finance note to the seller. We owe the seller 140 grand.
Oh, yes, you're right. Okay, you're right. Yeah, my bad. So a true subject to is literally when you just take on the mortgage. And that's it, right? You don't have to pay the seller extra money. They basically just give you the house and you pay it off. That is a bare bones subject to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But if they want to make profit on it, it's a hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I got it. That makes more sense. Yeah, learning has occurred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro, it's interesting. It's actually really dope because we would really help out the seller in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
The seller's like, yo, I'm screwed right now. I just lost 2 offers. I can't go through another 30 to 60 days contingent upon people's finances going through on the market. Like, I just need somebody to come and solve my problem ASAP. Because if I don't, my credit's gonna keep getting jacked up from missing mortgage payments, and I'm screwed. I can no longer stay in this any longer.
Got it.
So now he's able to take that $10,000, go find a rental and clean some of his debt up, and boom, we take over the mortgage.
Okay. Yeah, that's clear.
One of the main reasons why I also wanted to go over this is to show you how important it is to keep following up. Like, dude, I went on an appointment with that guy months ago. Followed up. Hey, how's the project going? Because he was doing some of the work in the house. His plan was just to do the work, list it, and then sell it. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then he's starting to get into the weeds on the market, and he's like, shit, this is the second time we had a deal that fell through. Like, I can't bullshit with these offers anymore.
And this is gonna happen more frequently now because of what's going on.
Yeah, if you remember Mike, who came up like a few days ago on the episode, he was saying this is going to happen a ton. He actually just did a deal recently that was on the MLS. The wholesaler put the house on the MLS. He went there to check out the property, and he starts talking to the seller and he's like, hey, so how far are you behind in your payments? The other wholesaler didn't even know like that she was behind in her payments. And Mike was like, okay, well, when this guy doesn't close, call me because I'm your savior. Because the wholesaler didn't close. So you're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see a lot of, especially on market deals that are listed too high. Sellers might be in a bad situation. And all of a sudden, 30, 60, 90 days go by, the property didn't sell, and now they're freaking screwed.
Yep.
It's important for realtors to understand that there's people out here that would do that. Because if Felipe is a realtor and he has a client like stressed out, about to lose his house to foreclosure, but somebody can come in and save the day, and Felipe doesn't know that he has that in his tool belt, he's screwed. Like the sellers are screwed.
Mm-hmm.
But cool. What else do you got to go over as far as like what happened today so far, or what's happening later on in the week?
That lady that I brought up to you yesterday with the divorce, spoke to her today. She's ready to sell the house, so like legally she's good to go. I'm gonna set up an appointment with her tomorrow to see when she's available, and that will probably be a deal, most likely.
The lady that's going through a divorce. Where is it?
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. The one in, was it Rhode Island? I'm pretty sure. Well, anyways, there's a lady. She's going through a divorce, and she's already in the final stages of the whole process. The last hearing is is in August, but she's already allowed to sell the house.
Okay, so she can come to an agreement with somebody?
Yep, she said she's selling the house no matter what because she doesn't want it anymore, and it's either she has to refinance it in the future and give the profits half to the husband, or sell it now and give it to the husband. So she just wants to get it done with now, and walk away.
Okay. So what's the numbers on it?
I mean, just off the top of my head, if I remember, 360 ARV. This is just off the top of my head, and she's entertaining mid twos, high twos, and there's no work need to be done. The house was a flip. She bought it as a flip.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, buyers are lower, sellers are worse. So we got to confirm the state of the property. But there's definitely something there that we can use.
Do you have pictures of it?
I do not. Actually, I'm sorry. Yes, I do. I do have pictures on it. And she said that I confirmed that. She said that all those pictures online are basically the same thing in the house.
Yo, lock this shit up, dog.
Yes, sir.
You don't even need to go on the appointment.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just confirm my numbers and get exactly to where I have to be at.
Shoot the deal over to me, and I'll give you the number. What was it on the MAO calculator?
Oh, like I said, I gotta open it up again. I just gotta find it.
Okay.
Give me a sec.
But yeah, what do you think?
Here she is.
What do you think would prevent you from just locking it up over the phone rather than having to go there?
To be honest, I don't think anything. She wants to. I mean, she wanted us to go over there and see it, and that's kind of how I told her when she asked about how does the process work, because we go over there and take a look and assess it.
Yeah, I wouldn't go down that road unless you need to. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the way it happened, it was she said, "Oh, how do you guys work? Like, how is the process?" And I told her usually when we agree in a range, and then we'll go over there, assess it to confirm our numbers or whatever, and we'll give you an offer on the spot. And she said, "Okay."
Okay, so let's think about this, right? If Felipe is the one going on all the appointments, and he also has to hit KPIs, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is in Felipe's mind? What is his best, I guess, process to the seller? Like, what could you say? What could you say to the seller in that situation if you knew, like, hey, I still got to hit my KPIs, but I mean, it's going to be like a 45-minute drive there, 45-minute drive back. That takes away from my KPIs. What do you think you could say to the seller of what our process would be if you had that in mind?
Okay, I got it. I could say, if we're close in numbers, we could usually just lock it up on the phone, figure it out. But if there is some type of extremity that we can't control via virtually, we have to go over there and check it out.
Yeah, so typically we've done enough deals to this point and had enough conversations with sellers to understand what we can buy properties at over the phone. So as long as we have some really good pictures of the property, which I see here on Zillow, the updated pictures, they should do us justice. They're updated, right? Oh, yeah. Those are from X. Okay, great. Yeah, we've done enough deals to understand where we need to buy these properties at. So what we can do is we'll do some more underwriting, and once we come to an agreement, we'll send you over the agreement and go from there. And then the next steps for us would be to get our crew over there just to make sure that there isn't anything crazy. But from what we see on our end, we can do the deal.
Okay.
That way you don't have to waste your time going there. It's all about efficiency. It's all about, are we spending our time doing money-making activities? And driving is not a money-making activity. So if we can accomplish something virtually, let's do it.
Yeah, so ARV is like 370, 380.
Yeah, shoot it over to me, bro.
Yep.
I do have to run though. I have a seller actually coming to the office to go over some terms. Do you have anything else?
No, that's about it for today.
Yeah, I'll try to get them locked up over the phone.
Okay, I'll task it over to you just to confirm, get the final say.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to it.
I'll look at it by tomorrow morning and I'll give you a MAO.
Okay.
But you can use the MAO calculator too.
Got it.
All right, bro.
All right, brother. I'll see you later.
Peace. Thank you for watching, people. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, do all the fun things. We appreciate y'all. We will see you again tomorrow.